One thing that I think a woman has never had a man do to her is the moment that they make eye contact, he just gets up and walks straight towards her and talks to her without, conjuring up some pickup line or thinking about what he's going to say or come up with some comedic skit, to make her laugh. No. Just eye contact, boom, walking straight up to her and just letting whatever happened to happen, right? Just letting the moment kind of create itself and having complete confidence in just himself, not in some Hollywood scripted pickup line that he's got in his back pocket. But hey, if we're going to be real with ourselves, most of us men, especially like when I was single, ain't none of us going to be doing this, right? That's a lot of pressure. And for a lot of us, especially a lot of the dudes that I talk to here on this channel, overthinking has got you in bondage. It's got you like a deer in headlights, frozen. And I just want to be the one to be able to come to you and connect with you here and say, hey, you know what? Overthinking, yeah, it sucks, bro. It ain't cool. I might not deal with this in relationships type of thing. I'm married and all that, but I deal with overthinking in other areas of my life. And so I think what I'm about to teach you here today, you can not only apply this to relationships, but pretty much any category, any kind of area of your life that you're maybe dealing with overthinking in. If you've been a long-time subscriber of mine and you've seen my channel over the last decade, I mean, you can see me overthinking everything, right? You can see how me starting off back in 2011, 2012, making self-improvement videos, and then I switched on over, did hair videos, and then I did some fashion for a while, then did some fitness. And then I had a season of my life outside of YouTube where I just didn't give a F about anything, right? And I started immersing myself in all my sin and, all that. Some of you guys know that whole story. When I was veering way off track, doing, smoking weed, I was in the midst of my porn addiction, all that. And then, I quickly transferred on over into the whole red pill thing. And then, I started doing more self-improvement. And then at the end of the day, now I'm finding my way back to Jesus again. Right? Thank God. And this is ultimately why I've, just created the Jesus Pill, which is a free course you can download right now if you want to go ahead and do that. But hey, look, this is what overthinking does to a man. It either freezes you up or it's got you juking left, juking right, trying this, trying that. And hey, there's nothing wrong with kind of dibbling, dabbling, trying new things and stuff like that. But when it's got you overthinking to a point where it's got you completely off course, when it's got you out of the will of God, when it's got you jumping ship and running away from the opportunities that God may be presenting to you, that's where you can get into trouble, bro. Especially with a woman. The last thing you want to do is, hey, you got this wife-worthy woman in front of you, and God's saying, hey, I got you this girl. And you're looking for every reason why you shouldn't go up and talk to her. And why, as men, do we do stuff like this, bro? It's because it feels better in the moment. It feels better to, you see that girl, you feel that nervousness. Oh, you feel that pressure starting to weigh down on you. Should I talk to her? You start overthinking, thinking about all the books you've read and the movies you've seen. What should I do? What should I say? And it feels better in the moment to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out. I'm just going to stay at home tonight instead. I'm not going to go out and converse with nobody, with no girls. I'm just going to do me tonight. I'm not feeling it or whatever. Feels better in the moment to just step back and seclude yourself. It takes the pressure off. But essentially, you might be selling away your possible future wife to another man. Essentially, you're selling away your future wife for just a quick dopamine spike, for just a quick, that feels good, to relieve the pressure, to remove myself from the risk and the scariness of what if. Giving up what you want most for what you want now. Now, the things that I'm going to go into today are going to be very powerful, and this was actually kind of made possible by my boy Harry in the Wake Up War Club. He actually did a little post in there the other day, and so I'm actually kind of taking from his little points that he made and kind of adding my own little stuff to it, adding my own little my little seasoning, my little spice to it. But I just want to give a shout out to him, and it's actually his birthday today, so hey, happy birthday to you, my brother. Now, in my personal opinion, before I jump into this, I think overthinking is a complete curse. And I would even go as far as to say a generational curse. It can be passed down. And if you don't get it right, bro, if you don't stop overthinking, it'll bleed into your kids. When you start to bring on that anxiety and that stress and you're thinking about the worst possible scenarios, it's not only going to bleed into your kids, it's also going to bleed into your wife too, bro. And you're going to have a whole family that's just completely stressed out all the time when you're supposed to be the man. You're supposed to be the captain of the ship. You're supposed to be cool, calm, level-headed when storms come, right? So if you can't get it right now, being a single man, just trying to talk to a girl, hey, this is something that I'm being real with you, bro. You got to get right. you got to work through. You got to conquer it. And you can. And that's what I'm going to help you out with today. You cannot allow these negative patterns to continue in your home, right? And so you got to be aware of this. That's why this is so detrimental. You got to, look past your own nose on this one. This has negative effects that go way beyond past you. This is bigger than just you. Now, the first mindset that you need to have to completely destroy overthinking is realizing that most of your thoughts do not need to be explored. You don't even need to go there. The second you start to have a negative thought come on, or a thought that's, causes intimidation or fear, you think about all the risks and what could go wrong, you got to see it as a cloud. You got to see it as, oh, it's just a cloud passing by, right? There it is. Oh, wow, yeah. That's a cute little cloud. Yeah. Oh. And that's about it. That's all the time and attention you give it, bro. The Bible says cast all your anxieties on him, right? So if that cloud represents anxiety, if it represents fear, the worst possible thing that you can imagine, really think about that, bro. If it was in the middle of summer, if it was, 102 degrees outside, the sun's out, getting some good vitamin D in, perfect weather, and there's not a cloud in sight besides that one, are you going to spend your whole entire day focused on that cloud and chasing after that cloud as it's passing by? No, it doesn't even make sense. You're going to go out and just enjoy your summer, enjoy your day, maybe go on a run, hang out with the bros, go to the beach, look at all the ladies in their cute little bikinis, right? And just being real here. You're not going to give one rat's winkle doodle about that little cloud passing by. So I would say, hey, just enjoy yourself, bro. And those times where there's a beautiful girl and you need to talk to her and you start overthinking, no, just walk straight up to her, bro. And that scariness that you feel, that nervousness, you got to realize that's the fun part, bro. That's fun. That's what makes dating and stuff so exciting, because you don't know what's about to happen, bro. You could get rejected. She might like you. She might really dig you. She might look at you with a big old giant smile on her face. And, that could possibly even be your future wife. Some great things can come out of that. But that's the thing about it. That's what makes it fun is, hey, you don't know. So I always kind of tell my dudes, that's, you only get that once in your life. Once you get married, those little butterflies that you feel, you don't really get that back ever again, because you get familiar with that person, right? So to be in those circumstances where it's a little nervous, you're like, whew, sweating a little bit. What am I going to do when I say? And you got to walk up to her. You don't know what's going to happen. Hey, that's part of the game, bro. That's the fun part. And realize that, man. Don't label those moments as something that's scary and just, death-defying. Nah, bro. Label it as a thrilling adventure, right? Diving into the deep end. Number 2, this is a really good one. You can't become obsessed with how you feel all the time. See, the problem with always becoming obsessed with how you feel all the time is it makes you a narcissist, right? You got the one side of narcissism. We've talked about it before, where it's all about ego and it's all about, hey, look at me, I'm amazing. And then you got the other side, that the insecure side of narcissism, that's like, oh my gosh, what if I mess up? What if I say the wrong thing? And this is how I feel. I'm so anxious. I'm so scared. Both are so infatuated with self, me. And you got to stop singing that opera song, me. You gotta stop with all that, bro. And you gotta realize that is an obsession with yourself. You are, like it talks about in the end times in the Bible, right? In the book of Timothy, I think it is, or Revelation, one of them talks about how in the end times people will become lovers of self. And you gotta realize that is part of being a lover of self, is worrying and being so obsessed with your feelings and how you feel. Now, before I dive into this video even further, I ain't gonna waste your time. So right now I have a huge offer for you. Big discount, 20% off plus free shipping plus 2 free gifts at manscaped.com, which is today's sponsor. It is spring now, so it's time to do a below the waist spring cleaning as we prep for summer. So right here, as you can see, I got the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, which includes their newest Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, which is a beast of a trimmer. It's got the best skin safe technology by far, and it is waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. It's got an updated trimmer blade and an interchangeable foil blade for a more enhanced performance, literally leaving your ball sack and your Johnny Long Schlong silky smooth. The package also includes the Weed Whacker 2.0 nose and ear hair trimmer, again waterproof with skin safe technology. It's also got the Crop Soother and Crop Preserver to keep your balls as fresh as can be. And if you order today, like I said, you get 2 free gifts: the Shed 2.0 travel bag to put your tools in, and the Boxers 2.0 to put your own little man tool in. So hey, look, these are phenomenal products, bro. I've been using them religiously for the last handful of years. Again, you can get all this for 20% off plus free shipping by clicking the link that I have for you down below. All right, now moving on. So the third thing is, when you overdiagnose everything, you will always find an excuse to not act. And you'll be telling yourself things like, oh, it's just my anxiety, or, I just have social anxiety, or I have depression, I have this, I have that. And look, bro, this is why I may come off kind of insensitive when it comes to this topic a little bit. And that's because, hey, I can guarantee you nobody, whether it's you or anybody nobody has ever had social anxiety as bad as I had it. Growing up, I had, such bad social anxiety that it became a kind of like it started off like as a mental illness and then turned into a physical one, to where anytime I would even not only just go out on dates with girls, but anytime I would just go out and start hanging out with friends, I would get so anxious, so worried, I'd get so worked up that I would actually, before I go out, I would run to my bathroom real quick and just vomit into the toilet. But hey, what did I do, bro? I threw up. And I just went out anyways and hung out, went on the date. I constantly was just putting myself out there, putting myself outside of that comfort zone. Because my comfort zone, bro, it was so tight. It was so, before that, there was no way that I would get outside of that comfort zone. But there came a point into my life where it was like, I can't do this no more, bro. I got to be, I can't live my life full of fear and full of anxiety. God created me. He says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. He didn't say that I am fearful. He said, I'm fearfully made. There's a big difference between the two. And so knowing that I have a source of power that I can rely on, I don't have to rely just on myself, but I got this backup power. I got this magnificent, omnipotent power flowing through me. Hey, that kind of started changing my perspective on things, knowing that, hey, God's got me. And that's the point that I'm trying to get at here is, hey, don't let anxiety and fear and overthinking be your God. Let God be your God. Allow him to lead you, not your anxiety, not your fear, not your doubts. And be very careful with what you utter, with the things that come from your lips. We always criticize people who delete themselves, right? Especially like grown men who have families, and we say, hey, oh man, that was cowardice of him. How could he just delete himself and leave his family stranded? How could he abandon his wife? But hey, check it out. When you look inwardly, when you look at yourself, you realize, oh shoot, I kind of do the same thing. I'm killing my hope. I'm killing my joy. I'm killing future opportunities. I'm killing my mental health, my peace, my mental mind state. Some of you who won't go up and talk to that girl, you're killing your possible future marriage right there. You're handing her off to some other guy. You're killing that opportunity that God gave you. So in the same sense, hey, that's a form of like deleting yourself, deleting the things that God's trying to give you and bless you with. Number 4, what you focus on, you get. You receive. Now, Tony Robbins did a cool little exercise the other day, and he was telling them on this podcast, he was saying, hey, if I were to tell you for the next 10 seconds right now to look around your room and kind of make a mental checklist of all the items in your room that are brown, right? And so they did that. They were looking around, looking at all the items that are brown, making a mental note of it. Okay, that's brown, that's brown. Yeah, my desk is brown, my cupboard's brown. I got this like kind of brown can right here, okay? And then he tells them to close his eyes, and he says, okay, now list all the things that were green. Couldn't do it, right? Because he was so focused on all the brown. And that's a perfect example of what you focus on, you get, you receive. And a lot of the times we're, in these scary scenarios, we focus on the worst that could happen. We focus on all the things that could go wrong rather than all the things that could go right. And now moving on to number 5, overthinking makes you tight. Now, I believe it was Robert Greene who said this. I might be butchering that name, but he said, tightness is anti-seductive. Ooh, that's word to your mama right there. So, hey, check it out. Girls, hey, bro, they at the end of the day, they just want chill guys. Guys that are just chilling, that are relaxing, that are coasting, right? That's what they want. And so me knowing this, even in myself, in my own life, I've kind of applied this mindset to my, for myself of just coasting, right? Whenever my wife and I may be going through some storms in our own life or some kind of crazy, hectic things, hey, I may be stressed out as frick, right? But my job is to keep her calm, like the captain of a ship, right? If she starts freaking out, I know that I have failed, even in the midst of the storms, even if inside I'm freaking out, if I'm losing my shite, right? Keeping them calm. That's job number 1. Actually, probably job number 2. Job number 1 is to focus on Christ and then allow that calmness that he'll give you, that peace that he gives you to bleed into them, right? Because at the end of the day, that's really the only way how you can stay calm is to actually focus on Christ and to rely on him and his power, right? And know that he's got this. And so once you do that, then it becomes a little more effortlessly for you to remain calm. And then that's setting a pattern within your own home. And so now going back here, I believe that the key word for today that I want you to kind of get in your head is just coasting, bro. you got to be coasting. There's this dude that always goes to, we have this restaurant that, it's like our go-to restaurant here in town. And there's this dude that comes in there, and he's not the best looking guy by any means, bro. Yeah. And he always comes in there, and every single time, bro, it's like he comes in there with a new chick. It's wild, bro. Like, these girls love this guy. And you look at him, if you were just to look at him, you'd be like, how is he getting? And they're not just like average looking chicks. Like, there's some dope looking chicks, and he's coming in there every single time with a new chick. And you would think to yourself, how's this guy, getting these chicks, bro? He doesn't even groom himself. But it's his personality, it's his character, it's his aura, man. He's just coasting, bro. He's chilling, right? And a lot of women these days who are in relationships, I'd say 99% of the time they're in these relationships. Most of the guys that they date, most guys in general, bro, they're not coasting. They're all over the place. They're always reacting. They're always frustrated. They're always stressed out. They're always freaking out. They don't have God in their lives. They're not calm. They're just a complete mess all the time. Most guys can't hold their composure. They don't know how to be stoic. They don't know how to be chill. You get what I'm saying? So, hey, look, most men are just a complete mess. And that's not the type of dude that you want to be correlated with, right? This dude that I'm talking about at this restaurant, he's as laid back as they come. Looks wise, he may be like a 5 out of 10, but his presence is straight 10 out of 10. He's coasting. And so, hey, look, in my humble, honest opinion here, I think the best way to stop overthinking is just to start overdoing, right? Like the whole Nike motto, just do it, just go. Stop overthinking and just start overdoing. Now, I'm not saying, of course, to not think about any consequences or think about any risks ever and just make stupid choices all the time. But there has to come to a point where you just get up off your butt and execute. Learn from your experiences. Learn from your failures. Don't be men these days are so afraid of failing. They're so afraid of falling flat on their face, but they don't realize that that's what makes strong men. One thing that easiness and comfortability has never created is a strong man, is a confident man, right? No, man, it takes the pressure. It takes taking the risks. Elisha Long said it best. He said, hey, you got to be willing to risk it all, bro. Smack the babysitter's ass and see what happens. Hey, she might love it. You might have yourself a good night. Or, hey, she's calling up your parents and telling them what a bad boy you were. And you're about to get the biggest ass whooping of your life. But, hey, you never know until you try it, right? Until you go for it. Obviously, I'm not really saying to do that. That's just, just the metaphor here. Just a little parable. Now, check it out. So I was going to end the video here, but what I want to do is actually throw in a little bonus module for you here that really help me see things from a different perspective. And I think this is going to change the game for you right here. And that is the importance of having childlike faith, much like the Bible says, right? Now, some people might disagree with me on this, depending on your kind of theology or the way that you interpret scripture or see scripture. But hear me out for a second here. So in the story of, in the book of Genesis, the story of Adam and Eve, right? What did God tell Adam? He said, you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die. So what does that mean? It means that God never even wanted us men to have knowledge, to even have wisdom. How does that make sense? Oh, but Dre, God gave us a brain. We should use it. No, not necessarily, bro. God wanted us to rely on him for our knowledge, for our wisdom, right? Much like a little baby, right? When a baby comes out the womb, what can that baby do on its own? Absolutely nothing. It needs a parent. It needs its mom and dad, or else it's going to die. It's not going to be able to make it. And so in the same sense, that's how God created us men, not to rely on our own understanding, but to rely on him, allow his knowledge and wisdom to, flow through us. And much like a child, when you're young, when you're 3, 4, 5 years old, you're not really conscious yet. You're just kind of like looking around. You're just, you don't even know what the heck you're doing. You're just a little knucklehead kind of, right? With a big old smile on your face, snot just like dripping from your nose. And all you care about is playing with Legos. Think about it. Try to remember back when you were that young. Were you thinking about girls? Were you thinking about hooking up? Were you thinking about business strategies? Were you thinking about, you weren't thinking about much. You were just doing, right? You're just having a good time, enjoying your life, knowing your mom and dad's taking care of everything, paying the bills for you. You weren't thinking about any of that. That's how God originally designed it for us. But then all of a sudden, when you start growing up, you become a teenager. Now you're at school. You care about what people think about you, and you're getting mad at your parents because you think you're smarter than them. That's us with God. It's the same thing. God never wanted us to get to that state. And so that's why Satan, the snake, was slithering through, and that's why he tempted Adam and Eve to eat of the fruit, because he knew that would change the game. He knew that they would start to think for themselves now, right? They would have the knowledge of good and evil. And he knew that if Adam and Eve would rely on their own source of knowledge and evil, that they would surely die. So, hey, look, that's why it's so important with whatever circumstance you're going through, whether it's a big one or a small one, even just going up and talking to a girl, you have to have this childlike faith. You got to, bro. Rely on your Heavenly Father. Know that this is probably a possible opportunity that's heaven sent from him, and execute. And hey, honestly, the more that you do that, even after like the first, second, third time, it gets easier and easier, bro. And then eventually, too, if you get rejected enough, it's just another rejection. You're just like, oh, well, ain't no big deal. I'm going to keep on getting rejected until I get accepted, right? And that's all you're looking for. All you're looking for is the one, bro. That's it. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video today, bro. I got so much more I could add to this. I really do. And we talk about it here in the War Club. If you want to join our inner circle group of dudes, of Christ-driven dudes, you can hit the link down below, wakeupwarclub.com. Join us. We go and we have live conversations with each other about 2 to 3 times a week. It's hands down the most impactful thing I've ever done in my life, even for me, bro. Selfishly, like I love this group. I love what it's doing for me on a personal note. And I'm growing leaps and bounds right now, bro. I'm truly blessed to have these boys a part of my life. They're a huge blessing to me. I thought it was, originally when I came up with this idea of doing the Wake Up War Club, I thought I was going to go out and like bless everybody. And like I am, I'm trying to do my best here. And a lot of guys are getting a lot of value from it. But I found myself getting like more value than I ever thought I would receive from it, right? I thought it was just going to be me giving away all the value, but I'm getting back as well, bro. Like I'm getting fed as well. So it's a huge blessing. If you want to be a part of it, I think you would absolutely love it. You would love all the guys in there. We got some top-notch, top-quality dudes who will really help you stay on track, help you focus, remain focused on Christ. And hey, that's what we're here for, bro. We're here to, at the end of the day, to lean into each other and hold each other accountable, right? And create solid friendships, solid brotherhood. So I appreciate you. Give this video a nice big thumbs up if you dug it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace always.